friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to Wrestle Juice. Another day, another set change thing. I've got the Roman title over there, so we're good to go. It's time for your guys' hot takes. Let's go ahead and dive into them. Patrick Ethridge says, after Cody drops the title, there shouldn't be a title reign over 6 months for a long time. Like any title reign at all? Any of the titles? I feel like there's got to be at least one title that somebody is carrying for a long time to kind of make that reign a definitive one. Otherwise, you risk all the other titles just sort of feeling like they're being hot potatoed. And I don't know. I feel like they're, especially with the way Triple H books things, a lot of stories really need a lot of time to breathe. And a lot of the time, those stories are, dude has title and people are trying to keep that title, get that title off of him. So I don't know if it should be a hard and fast rule, but in general, I kind of agree that some title reigns are just not meant to be very long or don't have to be very long. If you're referring specifically to the WWE Undisputed title, that's sort of the prestigious title. I feel like whoever has it earned it and needs to have it for kind of a long time. And that's why you got the World Heavyweight Championship, because that's a title I do not think should be. I don't think Gunther should have that title for 1,316 days or even 660 whatever days that he had it before, or whatever the reign was for his Intercontinental Championship. I think it should be closer. Yeah, I think his should be closer to like a 6-month or an 8-month reign at most. So I kind of agree with this take, but for the Cody title, the main title, the WWE title, you got to make sure whoever takes it off him, unless it's The Rock, unless it's the final boss, that should not be longer than like 4 months. That should be like WrestleMania to SummerSlam, maybe. Although if it's The Rock and he's able to make semi-regular returns, I don't know. If it's Cena, maybe he has it from WrestleMania until the end of the year when his tour runs out. He does the same thing Bryan Danielson is doing. He says, hey, when I lose this, I'll retire. That's my actual retirement match. A little bit different than Danielson because his is just the end of his full-time career. In the case of John Cena, you'd think, okay, you're done. Like, you're retired. That is your retirement match when you lose that match. Shawn Michaels 568 says, it seemed crazy to take Solo seriously after that losing streak, but they've done a great job building him as a real threat. I feel like they're close to building him as a real threat. He still lost to Cody. He needs to win something big. And I still feel like, at least with Jacob Fatu, there's a good chance Jacob's going to turn on him at some point sooner than later. Maybe not. Maybe not. I kind of feel, though, that like The Rock is going to end up being the puppet master there. In which case, it'd be kind of fun for Solo to take major issue with that. And then we'll really get the revamp of Solo's character. We'll really get to the meat of Solo's character as somebody who's kind of interesting. And I think in the meantime, him being kind of a pretender to the tribal chief role, I think it works for his character. I still think that Solo is just at the beginning of a very, very long character development arc thing where by the end of it, he'll be really, really interesting as a character. But we're just getting to the beginning of it. As far as him being a real threat, I kind of feel like Jacob Fatu is the real threat. And if Solo has him just sort of doing what he wants him to do, it kind of takes away from Solo in matches as a threat. But I don't know, it's a developing situation. I like how he's coming along as a character. Him as a wrestler, as a real threat, I'm not quite there yet because he doesn't really wrestle all that much. And when he does, is in that big match against Cody, and he just lost that match. So I don't know, if Solo wrestles a bit more and like actually shows himself to be a real threat, even if it's with bloodline help, then I'll understand it a bit more. The Wolfpack Arizona says Dom should win the Intercontinental strap from Braun like Eddie won it off Brock. Then Rhea should win it off Dom and hold the belt like Chyna did. That's a really good idea. I like that idea so much, I'm kind of upset that I don't think it's going to happen that way, but I really like that idea. My microphone keeps falling down, by the way. Jared Smith says, not sure how hot of a take this is, but Dom is currently a better heel than MJF. This one is kind of tough. I am, to be honest with you, much more entertained by what Dom does. I feel like Dom does get bigger reactions than MJF. I do feel as an in-ring guy, MJF is miles ahead of Dom. And I think MJF is a fairly effective heel. I feel like it's impossible to debate this because it kind of falls along company lines. If you're like a big WWE guy, you're going to say Dom's a better heel. If you're a big AEW guy, you're going to say MJF is a better heel. I think they're both really, really good at what they do. I think they're both very, very good. Dom is coming along as an in-ring guy, by the way. But I feel like they're both very, very good at what they're doing. And so in which case it sort of falls to just, hey, what do you like better? In which case it's just subjective and there is no better. I mean, regardless, it's subjective. But like you can't say, oh, definitely this guy or definitely that guy. Dom gets really great reactions, but I wonder if MJF would get those reactions if they had packed the arenas, if they're able to pack the arenas. I don't know. He's a hell of an in-ring competitor, though, or performer, whatever you want to call it. Levy JX says the Drew and Punk feud should conclude by them making up and gifting each other new friendship bracelets. That's a terrible idea. The one before, that was a really good idea. This is a bad idea. Terrible idea. Don't do that. GMD 375. Hot potatoing a world title is a lot of fun and long title reigns should be rare. I miss regular title changes. I mean, it's kind of similar to what the other guy said. I could have skipped this one, but I didn't. Yeah, there needs to be a little bit more of the hot potato. But then people complain. Oh, reign didn't mean anything. Why did he even bother with that title right there? Kind of like I do with the women's tag titles. Although, I kind of feel like there should have been more of a point to that. Like Cody and Jay having the tag titles for like a very short period of time. I kind of feel like there was a point to that. It was simply to get them drunk on that press conference because that was an awesome moment. Skyward Bound says, just because AEW isn't as popular as it was doesn't mean it's dying. God forbid a wrestling company that isn't WWE has a low point, then suddenly, oh, the company's dying. If that were the case, TNA would have been in the dirt 10 years ago. Yeah, I don't think AEW is dying. I don't know if anybody serious says AEW is dying. Like their attendance is crap, but they're about to get a big TV deal. Probably, most likely. That's all signs are pointing to that. 50,000 people in a stadium. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. Hey, I don't know if you can say a company's dying if that's the case. As soon as they're profitable, anybody saying the company's dying is kind of ridiculous. I'll be honest with you, I've been enjoying AEW's product this year or the past 3 months or so, more so than I have over the past couple of years. So I don't know if that's any indication. Maybe, the attendance will start going up. I feel like there's a bit of a watering down with their product with Collision and Rampage. Maybe if they scaled back some of their program, but Tony Khan seems to want more programming. So I don't know. I think the company's probably fine. If they get this TV deal, they'll probably turn a major profit. Gaz Jones, the Atom Bomb gimmick was awesome when I was little. I love the character, color scheme, and idea, even if Brian Clark wasn't the best wrestler in the ring. I mean, I liked the Dukes of Hazzard when I was a kid. I didn't really know what that flag meant, but that was really cool. We all liked weird shit when we were kids. Wooju Fight Lars says Dirty Dom should win Money in the Bank next year and cash in on one-time or two-time WWE champion Cody Rhodes. That would be his third and possibly his best heel-defining moment. I don't know how I feel about that. It's like the prestigious title. It's like face of the WWE title. Dom I'd be kind of interested to see them give the undisputed title to I guess it'd be considered a chicken shit heel, like an old Jericho from 99 type heel, or whenever he won that title, 2000, whenever it was. I don't know when it was. 2001? Was that what it was? I don't know, whatever it was. It'd be kind of interesting. It'd be interesting. I don't know if they'd ever pull the trigger on that. I guess we'll find out. I don't think he's going to beat Braun Breaker, but I'm kind of in favor of that. I think it'd be kind of awesome. One AWLFC says, Rob Van Dam is the most underrated wrestler of all time. No one since has moved or wrestled like he did. He was singularly unique. I agree 1,000% with this. I do not think there's even anybody today. Look, there are people who can fly higher. There are people who can move faster. There are people who can go coast to coast. But the way RVD put it together, the way it looked like he had a spring literally in his step, how he would just go from the mat up to the top turnbuckle just like that, like it was a spring in his step. It's weird to see him, even now, go back and watch clips of RVD and see just how unique he was. I agree with this take 1,000%. For me, it's cold. Well, the first time I saw RVD, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know wrestling could be like this. That's literally what I thought the first time I saw him. I remember it was in Los Angeles, 1998, late 98. We turned on, I think it was KCAL 9 at the time, and it just happened to be on at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It was like, what is this? I had heard of ECW, never seen it before, but oh my God, it was an eye-opener. And RVD was that guy. That first guy was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Enzo says, apart from MJF, none of the original AEW 4 pillars will win the AEW World Title. I think Darby will. I think Darby will maybe by the end of this year. I think it's a possibility he takes that title off of Bryan Danielson. I think Mox showing up and being like, hey, Darby, I want to talk to you. I think they're going to set big things up for him. Also, I kind of feel like Dave Meltzer had mentioned that that's a possibility. And when he said it, he's pretty well clued into the AEW stuff. So I feel like there's probably some truth behind it. Yeah, I could see Darby winning the world title easily. Absolutely. Jack Perry, maybe. I don't know. I like what he's doing, but nobody else seems to like what Jack Perry's doing. But Tony Khan seems intent on pushing him right now as the TNT champion. I think it's a possibility within 5 years. If he catches on as a bad guy, I think it's a possibility that he wins the world title. There is no chance Sammy Guevara is going to win the AEW world title. That is not going to happen. That is not going to happen. Sorry if you're a Sammy Guevara fan or Sammy Guevara. I just do not see it happening. Prove me wrong, I guess, right? What do I know? Cole Johnson says Legato and Final Testament are the same faction, just on different brands. That is actually pretty accurate. That is actually pretty accurate. They kind of are both not the most winning of factions and don't really serve much of a purpose. And they both kind of rely on like the moral victory as opposed to actually winning matches. It's Kenny Johnson says, it's time to retire the Universal Championship. The way Roman carried both belts has made it specifically feel unimportant since the titles were unified, having only been kept alive because of Roman's historic reign. Cody doesn't need 2 titles. It wasn't even the title he was after when he came back. They don't have... He only has 1 title. It's now called the Undisputed title. I don't think they call it the Universal Championship. I just think they call it the Undisputed WWE Championship, which is weird because Raw has a world title, so it's not actually undisputed. But yeah, I think they did kind of quietly, silently retire the Universal Championship. If you're talking about the actual title, the actual belt itself, if you think they should go back to just being the WWE Championship with the network logo title without the mustard on it, I kind of agree with that, but at this point, like the mustard is like the title. It's like Roman's titles that he had now into one. That's the prize. That's the big prize. So I don't think they're going to do it. I don't even know if I'd want them to do it now that I think about it. But yeah, it's the Undisputed title. It's not even the Universal title. They just sort of quietly phase that one out. So, hey, you got your wish. Stuzo says, CM Punk is the modern day Hulk Hogan. Wants to be the main guy and won't take any meaningful loss without being super protected. Seems like he wants to help other talent, but really, it's only his guys he helps, proven across both companies. I don't see this one. If he was Hulk Hogan, he already would have beat Cody for the Undisputed title. I don't see that. Dude, come on. You are underrating Hulk Hogan in terms of his political acumen, in terms of his shenanigans backstage, in terms of him being able to convince Vince McMahon that the only way your company is going to succeed is if I hold the title, brother. That ain't CM Punk. That is not CM Punk. Hulk Hogan would not have lost against Drew McIntyre with Seth Rollins and special guys. Hulk Hogan would never have done that. I don't see this one. Hulk Hogan had one guy. It was Brutus the Barber Beefcake. And even he had like the tag titles once with Hogan. That was it. Yeah, and maybe the Nasty Boys, right? Or is it Public Enemy? No, it's Nasty Boys. They never won anything. Not really, anyways. Yeah, no. Canal Zero says Triple H Royal Rumble win in 2016 was worse than Roman and Batista's Rumble wins. Batista led to Bryan winning. Roman win led to the cash-in. Triple H win led to the worst WrestleMania main event in recent memory. Yeah, but if you're talking about the win itself, Triple H won the title in 2016, and I don't know. Look, I am biased. I've always been a Triple H guy, so I thought it was pretty cool for the game to win. The other ones, not so much. Batista, people booed that because they wanted Daniel Bryan, and Roman, he was booed because they also wanted Daniel Bryan. I think. Isn't that how it went? They all just wanted Daniel Bryan. Yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like Triple H's was not as bad as those ones. But hey, you know what? It's hot takes, your opinion. I think that's great. Christopher Salvaggio says PWG and the American Legion Hall will always be S tier. There was nothing better on the West Coast than them. That is true. That is absolutely true. PWG and the American Legion Hall was awesome. I enjoyed being there. I got to be there twice. Although one time I brought Lacey. She thoroughly enjoyed it. but she also made the observation, this place smells. It did, in fact, smell. Yeah, it did. It was, God damn, people need to wear deodorant, man. I don't know why anybody would leave the house without it. Joe Nero West says the what chants aren't as bad as people make them out to be. Joe, no way. They're terrible. I hate them so much. Here's the thing that I hate about the what chants. I hate the anticipation of the what chant. I hate when I see one of my favorite people there cutting a promo in the middle of the ring, and I'm just waiting to hear, because they do the cadence thing. They say, one thing I got to tell you, brother, I'm going to take you down this Sunday. And then you're sort of, wait, and the crowd, if you got the cadence, the crowd just sort of is like, what? 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 Like the crowd will sometimes do it, and they love the person in the ring because of the cadence. They want to fill in that gap between clauses. And so they just start doing it. They don't even know they're doing it, I think. It's horrible. It is awful. One of the worst things in wrestling is the what chant. I fucking hate it. And I really, I can't stand it. And it's honestly, it's like, oh, they're not going to start whatting Rhea Ripley, are they? Yep, they're whatting Rhea Ripley. And now she has to change the way she talks mid-promo to try to stifle the what chant. Oh, I can't stand it. No way, Joe. Vuk says the big four WWE premium live events should all be 2 nights. All other premium live events should be brand exclusives too. I am in favor of the 2-night premium live event for the big four. I am cool with that. I think that's kind of a cool idea. Brand exclusive premium live events, not so much. I don't think. I guess a case could be made. It's only 5 match cards, so you get 5 matches every 2 months. That ain't gonna work. But I mean, right now you get like what, technically 2.5 matches per premium live event per month. So I guess it evens out, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know. That might fuck with things too much. I like the way things are right now, but I do like the idea of 2-night. I mean, we're gonna get Mania and SummerSlams at 2 nights. I would imagine 2 Royal Rumbles, 2 Royal Rumbles. Men's and women's. Ooh, that's not a bad idea. Geo Reaper says if Cody stayed with AEW, they'd be competing with Raw and SmackDown. Geo Reaper, did you see Cody Rhodes in AEW? He was not liked. And I'm not saying people didn't like him because, I want to see him get beaten. No, they didn't want him on the TV. This guy put Andrade through a flaming table in an excellent match, and that crowd was like, boo, Cody, get out of here. No. He wouldn't have turned it around. It would not have been turned around. Not a chance. Nope. Because he would have had creative control as an EVP. And he would have kept on trying shit that doesn't work. Vince actually and Triple H did know exactly what to do with Cody Rhodes. He was custom fit for WWE upon his return. But no, I don't think. I think AEW might be further worse now if Cody was still there. That guy was like tanking the company. Clown says, I think Lowkey would have done better if he had been in Triple H's black and gold NXT. Not saying he'd have been a megastar, but I think he'd have been happier. Lowkey is one of those weird ones when I'm not really sure what's going on there. Like I saw that one match that everybody sees where he like rushes the guy at the bell and he completely knocks him out. I'm like, did he mean to do that? Why is he still beating him up? He's an interesting character. I don't know the guy personally, but obviously he seems to have a history of, I guess, kind of burning bridges wherever he's gone to a degree, maybe. He's such a charismatic guy. I liked his run in in TNA in like 2017 when he was doing the Hitman suit thing. I don't know. It was a decent little run. But I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if he could have been sort of compliant under Triple H, if you will. So I don't really know. I really don't. Tim Schultz says Pure Fusion Collective is a good name. Are you guys just trolling me now? Pure Fusion Collective it's not a good name. It's not a good name. Anyways, that's going to do it for this edition of Hot Takes. Thank you for submitting yours. I appreciate it. Till next time. We'll see you guys around. Remember, I'm doing Bash in Berlin with Larson over at the Going In Raw stuff, so be sure to hang out with us over there. YouTube.com/Stephen Larson, YouTube, Twitch.tv/Stephen Larson 2.